It's maybe the most famous betrayal in all of human history. I mean, the story is so big it has literally shaped our language for 2,000 years. But what if this simple story we all learned isn't the whole picture? Okay, let's treat this like a historical cold case and see if we can finally crack it.
So here's the big question, right? Why did he do it? It seems simple on the surface, but the answers, well, they're anything but. We're going to dig deep into the motive behind that infamous kiss. We're going way past the Sunday school version to explore the complex, fascinating theories of people have been debating for centuries.
We all know the scene, don't we? That final meal, the tension in the air, then a quiet garden at night, and a kiss that identifies a man to his enemies. This is our starting point, the stuff that pretty much everyone agrees on. But the real mystery, the why, that's where our investigation truly begins.
30, just 30 pieces of silver. It's the one detail everyone remembers, isn't it? The price tag on a betrayal. That number alone has become this huge symbol for selling someone out. And, well, it leads us straight to the most common theory of all.
Okay, so let's open the case file and look at Exhibit A, the case for just plain, simple greed. This theory says that Judas, who was one of Jesus' inner circle, the guy who literally held the money bag for the group, was just in it for the cash.
I mean, listen to the way the Gospel of Matthew puts it. It sounds like a straight-up business deal. There is no deep, complicated motive here, just a very direct question. What's in it for me? What will you give me? This makes a really strong case that this whole thing was about nothing more than cold, hard cash.
And, it's tempting to just leave it there. The simplest explanation is often the right one, right? But really, a man who walked with Jesus for 3 whole years, who saw miracles up close, would he throw all of that away for what was basically just a few months' pay for a regular worker? It just feels, I don't know, a little thin. And that's where this theory starts to show some cracks. On the one hand, yeah, it's direct. But on the other, the payment seems way too small for a crime this huge. And even more important, it doesn't explain what Judas did next, that intense regret, throwing the money back, and ultimately taking his own life. If it was only about the silver, why the absolute despair? That doubt is what opens the door to some other, way more complex ideas. All right, so let's move on to theory number 2. This one paints a completely different picture of Judas. We're shifting away from personal greed and into the world of politics and revolution. This is the case for Judas the Zealot.
So, to get this theory, you first have to know who the Zealots were. Think of them as hardcore nationalists, freedom fighters, who were desperately trying to kick the Romans out of their homeland. They believed the Messiah they were waiting for would be a powerful military leader, a warrior king who would lead a massive rebellion.
So, here's the core idea. What if Judas signed up with Jesus thinking this was the guy, the warrior king he'd been waiting for? Can you imagine his confusion, his disappointment, as Jesus kept talking about peace and forgiveness and a kingdom not of this world? In this light, the betrayal wasn't about money at all. It was about his political hopes being absolutely crushed.
And the logic here is actually pretty wild. The betrayal wasn't supposed to get Jesus killed. It was meant to force him to act. The idea is, if Judas got Jesus arrested by the authorities, both Jewish and Roman, it would finally trigger the massive confrontation he was hoping for. It would spark the revolution. It was a last-ditch, desperate gamble to make Jesus become the Messiah that Judas wanted him to be. Okay, so now we come to our third and final theory, and this one is the most mind-bending of all. We're moving out of human psychology entirely and into the realm of destiny, theology, and fate. This is the case for Judas the pawn, a necessary piece in a much bigger divine plan. Just listen to this quote from Jesus. It perfectly captures the paradox, the total contradiction at the heart of this idea. He's saying the betrayal has to happen. It was prophesied. It's part of the plan so that the crucifixion and resurrection can take place. But, and this is the crazy part, the guy who does it is still condemned for it. It's a real head-scratcher. So let's just walk through the logic here. Step 1. For the central story of Christianity to work, Jesus had to die on the cross. That required a betrayal. Step 2. Jesus himself says that one of his followers is going to betray him. And step 3. Judas becomes the one to do it. From this angle, he wasn't really a greedy villain or a political fanatic. He was just an instrument, maybe even an unknowing one, playing a tragic part in a cosmic drama written long before he was born. And that brings us to one of the biggest philosophical questions there is, right? The whole fate versus free will debate.
Did Judas make a conscious choice to betray his friend? Or was he essentially a puppet, trapped by a destiny he couldn't escape? Thinking about it this way completely changes how you see him.
So, when we wrap this all up, we're left with these three totally different faces of Judas. Was he the sinner, just a greedy man who sold out for cash? Was he the zealot, a passionate political idealist who made a catastrophic miscalculation? Or was he the instrument, a tragic figure caught in the gears of a divine machine?
At the end of the day, the trail is 2,000 years old. There's no smoking gun. But the reason this story still fascinates us is because of that mystery. It makes us question our own motivations, and it leaves us with one last haunting thought about Judas Iscariot. Was he history's greatest betrayer, a misguided believer, or somehow, impossibly, both?